Going live on Instagram is one of the easiest and most powerful ways of creating good content quickly. In this video, I'm going to walk through the reasons why this vertical of Instagram needs to be part of your strategy, as well as tips and best practices for maximizing your efforts. On this channel, I talk a lot about Instagram, personal branding, and other social media platforms, as well as practical advice to look good online. If these are topics that interest you, I'd love to have you around here a little more often. Maybe even consider subscribing and hit the bell to be notified when I post next. So that's me. Now let's talk about Instagram Live. I love this topic. Here we go. Today I'm in Cabo, and the question comes from April, who asks, Phil, do you have any tips or ideas on structure for the first Instagram Live that I do? I've never done it before. Of course I've got tips and ideas, April. I'm so glad you asked this question. Instagram Live is where it's at. For some reasons it might surprise you, and I'll go into detail today so that you're feeling inspired and excited about creating content this way. Now, before we jump in, I want to tell you quickly about my online course, Instagram Mastery. I share lots of free tips and ideas for Instagram right here on my YouTube channel, so be sure to stick around like I do in this video. But if you're wanting to dive deeper, I recommend this course for sure. It will help you improve your game on all four pillars of this platform: feed, stories, live, and IGTV. Since we're talking about Instagram, I thought I should mention it. I will also include a promo code below to get 50% off this course. My way of saying thank you for hanging out with me today. Now, on to some tips that I promised you. Going live on Instagram. Let's start with tip number one. Number one, go live more. Instagram has over 1 billion users, and I assume that most of those users are consuming content on feed. If they're not posting it, they're at least consuming it, right? This is the way that Instagram started. I've also read a stat that over 500 million users watch stories daily, every single day. That's a lot of people. And when I do speaking engagements, I ask people to raise their hand if they're active on feed, post at least one photo once a week, and many hands go up. Then I ask people to keep their hands up if they post to stories at least 3 times a week. A few hands go down, but there's still a lot of hands up. Finally, I ask people to keep their hand up if they go live at least once a week, and almost every hand goes down. Now, this is an interesting experiment because if Instagram Live was a room, this room is a lot less crowded than other rooms in this house, and that is why you should be in it. Remember this, a live always gets prioritized over story updates. A live, or even better yet, a Q&A, for example, illuminates your profile photo in a visually distinct way, and your live will always appear before story updates to your followers on their homepage. It's arguably a path to lesser resistance, and I'll explain. Video creators like myself who post right here on YouTube will attest. A lot of work goes into every single one of these videos. When I create a YouTube video, it takes about 5 hours. For this one video, this includes writing the video, shooting the video, editing the video, choosing emojis like this one, designing graphics, right? All the other text elements, as well as a thumbnail to grab your attention on this video, optimizing the title and the description with keywords so that hopefully you find it, as well as uploading the video to YouTube and then promoting the video on social media and other places online. So, in addition to this time, I've also invested a lot of money into equipment, cameras, tripods, microphones. I read from a teleprompter that works with my iPad, so software, and of course, hiring other creative contractors because I don't have time to get it all done myself. Now, let's compare that to when I go live on Instagram. It takes me about 15 minutes to plan a live. And if I'm creating graphics, more on that in a second, maybe add another 15 minutes max. When I'm ready, I try not to overthink it. I hit go live, and when I'm done, I can push directly from live to IGTV. No editing, no fancy camera, just my phone, no lights. Just make sure you're near a window for some good natural light. No microphone, the built-in one on your phone will do. It's just that easy. Now you have the option of previewing your live if you post to IGTV on your feed, which I always recommend doing. You're going to get more views from your existing audience that way because they'll see it previewed on their feeds. Bonus tip, one thing you might want to prepare ahead of time is a thumbnail. This can be anything, not just a screenshot from the actual live. This is nice because it gives you complete control over how the preview will look on your feed with your other posts. So you might want to stick with something more designed or higher quality. You can, right? For example, for live that I had just created, I could use this as a thumbnail. Just save it to your camera roll for easy access. And if you push to IGTV after going live, remember you cannot change the thumbnail once it's posted. This is why it's smart to save it beforehand. I mentioned creating graphics a second ago, and I just mentioned camera roll. Perfect segue for my next tip. Tip number 2, share media from camera roll. Brand new to Instagram, one of the latest updates that a lot of people don't know about, you can save graphics to your camera roll and add onto your screen. Now, this is super cool. It's just as easy as saving an image that is formatted vertically to your camera roll and select the square button in the bottom corner, giving you access to your camera roll. Note, you'll only see this after going live. It's not something you can click and set before going live. I recently went live with a friend of mine, Brian, known as the BKH on Instagram, and we talked all about Instagram, specifically creative ways to use the platform that you might not be thinking about. In fact, I've got a podcast episode with him coming up as well, and once that's out, I'll make sure I link to it in the description below. But for this example, notice how it's split screen with Brian, and on my portion of the screen, I've shared an image that's being pulled from my camera roll using a template that I created in Canva, which is optimized for this purpose. Now today is your lucky day because as a thank you for sticking around with me today, I'm gonna give you a free template that I made in Canva that will enable you to design some graphics that you can put on the screen. Now, in this template, which is designed for Canva, I have an option for a solo presentation, a guest presentation, where the graphic is shared on the host's portion of the screen, and some examples of how I use it myself. I am a huge fan of sharing media from the camera roll to your screen during a live broadcast, kind of like doing a live presentation, because I recommend doing this because a lot of other people are not yet doing it, right? So you can definitely stand out this way. Let's talk about the third and final way that you can make an awesome Instagram Live. Tip number 3, follow a plan. Now there's a great casual quality to going live, but it's still a good idea to be prepared, to create some kind of structure. Going back to April's original question, what's my suggested structure for a live? I generally think going live with a plan is smart, and having, say, for example, 3 bullet points ready to help you stay on track. Teach us 3 things, for example, right? You can include a story, a short one, with each point if you want, but don't go on too many tangents or you will lose the viewer, right? Say what you need to say in a sentence, ideally not 10. And if you're going to respect your audience's time, right? Be respectful of your audience's time and attention span. There's a good chance that they will respect you back. Create a structure and stick with it. Very simple. Also, don't forget about your audience. So you've got a live audience of people who will join you gradually, some of them within the first few seconds of your broadcast. Sometimes it even takes a few minutes for them to be notified and for them to notice that you are live. So here's one trick that I use when I start every live broadcast. I've gotten into the habit of coming on and welcoming the replay viewer to that episode. Since I don't actually have any live viewers in the first few moments of the live, I actually welcome them and I quickly outline what I'm going to cover over the next few minutes. A fatal mistake that people make is that they wait for people to join the live. What about your replay viewers? You can't expect them to just stick around waiting, right? Imagine walking out on stage. You walk out on stage in front of an audience and you just wait a few minutes to start. It's awkward. It's the same thing. Don't do that. Instead, I'll show you exactly what you can do using a recent example from a live that I did, welcoming the viewer and giving them a preview of what they can expect if they stick around. Instagram, if you're seeing this, you're catching the replay, welcome. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to be talking about Instagram. I'm going to be talking about Instagram strategy. I threw out a question sticker on my story yesterday to collect a few questions, and this week I've been talking all about, really, all different parts of Instagram. So, be organized, get into a rhythm, and even have a rough plan of what you want to cover. People love and appreciate the casual, conversational nature of an Instagram Live, but don't get it so casual that it lacks focus, or you will lose your viewers entirely, and no one wants that. So now I want to hear from you. Have you ever gone live on Instagram before? Are you thinking of doing it? Are there any tips that I've mentioned that you're excited to try out? Let me know in the comments below. I keep an eye on these and respond to them personally so we can keep the conversation going on down there. If you found this video useful, I would so totally appreciate a like and consider subscribing for more videos like this on my YouTube channel, building your personal brand and practical advice to looking good online. Next, I'm going to link you through to some other Instagram related videos that I've made that will help you with your strategy, including a preview of some brand new fonts to Instagram stories. I'm Pallen. Thank you for watching these videos, and those videos are coming up next.